Graduates and audience, please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Larry Scogan, and it's my privilege to be the president of Bismarck State College, and I want to welcome you to Bismarck State College's 77th commencement ceremony. The processional music was provided by our own BSC Wind Ensemble under the direction of Dr. John Darling and student conductors Jacob Lawler, Kayla Seiler, Melissa Larson, and Jacob Pertilly. Please give them a well-deserved round of applause. I have the honor now of introducing our stage party. To the stage party, as I say your name, please rise and remain standing until all of you have been introduced. And to the audience, please hold your applause until the entire stage party has been announced. Beginning in the second row, Mr. Bob Arcel, Professor of Electronics, Telecommunications Technology, and BSC's Senior Faculty Member. Ms. Carrie Knutson, Vice President for College Advancement and Executive Director of the BSC Foundation. Mr. Dave Clark, Executive Vice President. Dr. Dan Langang, Dean of Humanities, Arts, and Sciences. Dr. Donna Fishbeck, Dean of Student Affairs. And Mr. Bruce Emmel, Dean of the National Energy Center of Excellence. And in the first row, Mr. Kyron Miller, President of the BSC National Alumni Association Board of Directors. Ms. Madeline Lund, our student commencement speaker. Mr. Greg Steeman, State Board of Higher Education. And Mr. Greg Tavine, Executive Director of Emerging Prairie and our commencement speaker. Please be seated.
It is my pleasure to introduce Greg Steeman, State Board of Higher Education member. Mr. Steeman is currently the branch manager of First Community Credit Union in both Oaks and Valley City. He was appointed to the State Board of Higher Education in July 2015. We are happy to have him with us today. Please welcome Mr. Greg Steeman.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank all of you up there. That's family and friends. This is a big day. It's neat to see such a fantastic turnout. On behalf of the North Dakota State Board of Higher Education, I want to extend my sincere congratulations. I want to say thank you for choosing to further your education at an amazing institution within the North Dakota University system. In today's instant gratification society, there is not enough appreciation for completing the college experience. In my opinion, it is an accomplishment that should be celebrated. Graduates, this academic journey has prepared you for the next step in your life. It's been the overall college experience that has prepared you to move forward. Obviously, worthwhile learning experiences took place inside the classroom. They certainly took place outside the classroom as well. Keep in mind, common sense is a strong complement to education. Know this, adversity is always potentially around the corner. Don't let it catch you off guard. None of us should ever define ourselves by how often adversity strikes. What defines us as strong people is how we choose to respond when adversity does strike. Being prepared to deal with adversity is one of the many things you've learned during your time on campus. Preparation is invaluable. I urge you to approach your next opportunity with a strong sense of respect for those who've already been where you are going. I know you already have many ideas about better ways of doing things. Please keep one thing in mind. If it wasn't for all those who went before you, we wouldn't have so much information readily available about why and how things can be done better than before. Rick Warren said, "Humility isn't denying your strength, it's being honest about your weaknesses." I suggest you move forward with a genuine sense of humility, realizing the more honest we can be about our weaknesses, the more prepared we can be to accept them, embrace them, and turn them into strengths. One gentle reminder, always be willing to grab a broom. If you put yourself above basic responsibilities, you're going to lose touch. I want to encourage you to be a valuable member of society, someone who is believed in by those you work for and with. Take it from someone who's made many mistakes in his life, there is no substitute for being trusted. The world needs strong and trustworthy leaders. The more willing you are to serve, the better prepared you are to lead. Today's culture promotes a self-first approach. Conversely, I challenge you to have a servant leadership approach. When you reflect on your time in your more advanced years, it's going to be the times that you gave of yourself that will produce the treasured memories. John Wooden said, "You can't live a perfect day without doing something for someone who will never be able to repay you." As you take the next steps in your life, I would encourage you to be optimistic about the opportunities that exist. Your time on campus has helped build a strong foundation on which the rest of your life will be built. Where you go from here is still on the drawing board and is completely in your hands. Equal opportunities will never guarantee equal results. The time, effort, and the quality of work you put in will be directly proportional to the end result produced. Ultimately, you are in charge of your own happiness. Don't make it somebody else's job. You are prepared, you're ready to handle adversity, you possess humility and strength, and you have it within you to be a true servant leader. The only thing that will keep you from achieving greatness is a refusal to believe in yourself. This college believes in you, an exceptional faculty, staff, and administration believe in you, a proud state board of higher education believes in you, and it's time for you to take the next step forward with a strong belief in yourself. Congratulations, God bless, and remember, it's always a great day to be a BSC grad.
It's my privilege to introduce our student speaker, Madeline Lund. Madeline is transferring this fall to continue her work on a degree in education. In many ways, she's already in the field. She's the oldest of three, a middle school soccer coach, was a resident advisor in Swenson Hall, and a counselor at Camp of the Cross. She mentioned during a conversation with one of my colleagues that what she most looks forward to as a teacher is the day she sees a class she taught in elementary school graduate from high school. She said that this will feel like a true success to her. I hope today feels that way as well, Madeline.
When I was first approached with the idea of speaking here today, I didn't know whether I wanted to or not. I practically wore a hole in my floor from all the pacing I did thinking about the pros and cons. Pro, speaking in front of you all here today will help me prepare to teach to my future students. Con, I have to speak in front of you here today. Pro, I work so hard in my studies, and I'm so proud to have gone to BSC. Con, I have to speak in front of a lot of people today. I decided that I would because I knew that if I didn't speak in front of all of you here today, I would later regret it. And I believe a life well lived is a life with few regrets. Now, I'm not saying I don't have any regrets. Do I regret not getting my gold award in Girl Scouts? Yes, I most definitely. Do I regret not talking to that one boy in that one class? You betcha. But I know that I won't regret my decision to come to BSC. My schooling is not quite done, but I know that I don't think that I would have been able to have the same confidence that I had at this point if I would have graduated high school and directly went to a 4-year institution. College is a whole new experience compared to high school. However, BSC provided the right mix of size, courses, and affordability that was a good fit for me. Even so, I remember how nervous I was on my first day of classes. They mimicked the feelings I had as a high school freshman. But the minute I made it to my first class, and I saw my algebra professor walk in with a smile, I knew that my perception of college was going to be quite different. As time went by and I figured out how to balance my personal with my college life, I acquired this newfound confidence that I will know will help me move forward in my future aspirations. I cannot thank my professors enough for their dedication and genuine concern for my education. So many outside sources depict college to be tough, intimidating, and the origin of extreme stress, which is so true. It's tough because we have to balance our schoolwork with the big-time decisions that will affect our future. And did you know that adulting is actually a real thing? It's intimidating because we don't know what to expect every day we get to class. Is today going to be the day that our professor is going to give us the pop quiz that he's promised since the beginning of the course? The intimidation seems to never cease. Whether we use this stress as an excuse to get out of studying for a night or just as a way to as motivation to overcome the frustrations that build up in a semester of classes, we all experience them one way or another. And look where that got us. We managed to endure our classes and assignments and finals long enough to be able to sit in these seats and wear these gowns. Maybe it's my love of learning and schooling, hence the education degree, that made college a seamless transition from high school. But I know that when I look back at all the decisions that I made to get to where I am then, I know that I will be very proud to have been a mystic, and you, my fellow graduates, should be too. Life is too short to dwell on all the things that you should have done or wish that you did. It's important to live every day like it's the last. One of my more stressful occasions that I experienced this semester didn't even relate to my classes. It had to do with the fact that I'm realizing how quickly my life is going. I mean, it seems like just yesterday that I graduated from high school, and in a couple more years, a lot of us will be graduating again and going into the fields that we've dreamt of for so long. But my mom had to remind me that I'm only 20, and that in my 20 years of life, I have already experienced so much, and I have so much life yet to live. Life, it isn't about what you have accomplished, it's also about what you have left to do. But the cool thing about life, that is impeccably cool, is that what you don't do now, you have the possibility of doing it or something better in the future. Tom Hanks once said as Forrest Gump, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to find." It's true. One never does know what the next day will bring. That's why it's so important to live and be happy and be spontaneous and just be yourself. You need to seize the day. Make the most of each day we have. Seize the day. Carpe diem, graduates. Seize the day and seize your life. Carpe diem. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Madeline. That was excellent. It is now my privilege to introduce the BSC Concert Choir. This talented group of students is led by Clyde Bauman, BSC music instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the BSC Concert Choir.
Such a dream. nations paths adorn thy dream.
Thank you, choir. I'm always struck by the talent of our students and our faculty that direct them, and both for the instrumentation and the vocal. And so I thank you very much. And their accompanist was Teresa Bickler, who also deserves recognition. So all of you did a marvelous job. Thank you. It is my distinct pleasure today, and I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce our commencement speaker, Greg Tavine. Greg believes in possibility. Moreover, he believes in taking charge and having an active role in creating the place where you, that means you students, want to live, whether you want to focus on your town, your state, your country, or the entire world. He believes that if you believe and if you think inclusively and creatively, you can make a difference. Greg has been involved in many projects that you've probably heard of: TEDx Fargo, 1 Million Cups, Emerging Prairie, and more. Today, Greg will talk about innovative ways to make connections, solve problems, and engage with others in your communities. He will invite you to take risks, stop waiting, and work toward the changes that you want to see. And I'm going to go off script for just a minute. My apologies to the organizers, but for a number of years, 15 plus years, a very important person involved in the organization of our commencement is Sue Lippert, who has been the executive administrative assistant in the provost office for a lot of years. And this year, when we were talking about having a speaker, she came up to me in great frustration, and Sue said, "Larry, would you please get somebody here that the graduates actually want to listen to?" So that's my challenge. As soon as she said that, I said, I know exactly who to ask to come to our graduates today. So please welcome 5th generation North Dakotan, Greg Tavine.
Well, thank you everybody for having me here today. It is really an honor. Over the last year, since I found out I was going to have this opportunity, I've been on campus several times, and each time I've been on campus, I've noticed a few things. I've noticed that people care here. Whether I've been in the student union getting food, the customer service was excellent. Last night we were at a fantastic dinner and the grounds were clean. And I've talked to several students, several faculty, and I know that the faculty is really good at what they do. So all of you students, would you join me in giving those folks that make today possible to make this celebration a reality? Let's give them a round of applause. Look around and let's see these people that love and care about you. Let's give them a round of applause. Ten years ago, I graduated from the University of Minnesota. On a day much like this, it was filled with energy and excitement and a really fancy commencement speaker. He was the CEO of Forbes at the time. And I don't remember a darn thing he said. I don't remember one thing. I do know one thing he did is he hired a BSc grad, Rich Karlgaard, to run the company, and I think that was a great idea. But on that day, they let a regent, one of the folks from the board, share for 30 seconds. And he was an executive at Cargill, and he said, "Students, you are ready. Go and serve others." And that's what stuck with me. And so today I want to encourage you to serve others. I'm going to tell you some stories. We'll see how they go. And believe me, I talk fast. My grandma tells me, so hopefully it's not too long. So I was 22 years old, a graduate of the University of Minnesota, and I was here in Bismarck. And a high school senior from West Fargo said, "Hey, Greg, I've got these friends. We want to get together and we want to change the world." And I said, "Okay, cool. How are you going to do that?" And they're like, "We have no idea. Talk to me next week." I was like, "Okay." And so I got together and they started meeting. And these students were putting together what they hoped would be the largest food drive in the history of the country. And I asked them how they would do it, and they said, "I don't know." And so I was like, "When do you guys meet? Can I come to a meeting?" They're like, "Are you free on Sunday nights?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm free most nights, and weekends I'm very single." And anybody here out there very single, like really single? Got some hands up? Okay, look around, ladies. So I was really single, so I was helping these students out. And they had this idea to fill the floor of the Fargo Dome, a venue much like this, with food. And so they had these ideas, and what was interesting is so many people kept asking them questions. How are you going to do it? How are you going to fill the floor of a venue with cans of food? What are the logistics going to look like? How are you going to get people out of school? And I'm sure that's easy if you know how to do that. You guys know how to do that? I was good at it. But anyways, I noticed that there were these people that said, like, they took it upon themselves to be devil's advocates. Have you guys ever met devil's advocates? Like, I see some chuckles. Yep, right here, the single guy, okay. So it was so frustrating for me. I was 22 years old. I was adulting. And these students ended up defying the odds. Now, this was by far the least efficient service project in the history of the world. The kids would gather food in the classes. They would bring it to the floor of the Fargo Dome. They would spread it all out, and then they would organize it and put it back in boxes for the Great Plains Food Bank. And on the day of Fill the Dome, the first year, they had just been on Good Morning America. And my job was, after the celebration, was to manage the 100 high school and middle school kids that were volunteering to package up the food. A tremendous amount of stress. And this teacher came up to me. She said, "Greg, I have to tell you a story about a kid that brought a box of Cheerios." And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's 80,000 pounds of food. That's great. We got to manage all these kids. And she said, "No, Greg, what you don't understand is that box of Cheerios was half full." And I'm like frustrated. I'm like, how the hell am I going to find that box of Cheerios? And with tears in her eyes, she said, "Greg, what you don't understand is that first grader that brought the box of Cheerios gets 100% of their family's food from the food bank." And he wanted to do what he could to help. And it was a reminder for me that service isn't just about the rich and famous. It's about you and me, and it's the big things we can do and the small things we can do. And that spirit of service is something we can do every single day. I'm reminded when I was a freshman at the University of Minnesota, still very single, and we were eating Top Ramen and Easy Mac. Do any of you know these fine dining etiquette? Yes, I see some. Yes, all right. Yeah, like single guy does. Okay, we're going to be hanging out, buddy. So we're eating Top Ramen and Easy Mac, and we're saying, what could we do to change the world? What could we as freshmen do to make a big difference? And I was coming back from summer camp, and I had one of those like white man fros, like not very popular, and those summer camp necklaces. Did any of you ever have those? Not a good idea. That'd help me stay single. So we had this idea. Let's go on a pay it forward tour. Let's travel across the country from Minneapolis to Washington, D.C., and let's do service. Let's stop in different cities. So as freshmen, we got this idea off the ground. We created the pay it forward tour. And we continued to do that. In about 6 years, we were getting ready for one of the trips. So after I graduated, I got to make $20,000 after graduation. That was pretty exciting. And we continued the project. And in our classes, our communications classes, our professors talked to us about an emergency communication plan. And it was one of those assignments when you get, and you're like, when the heck am I going to ever use that? Did you get any of those assignments? Yes, okay. Did you get more than one of those assignments? Yes, okay. So we got one of those assignments, and so the Pay It Forward tours are going on. I'm in Washington, D.C. for a big celebration. There's about 400 college kids spread around the country, and I get the call that every parent, every faculty member fears getting. Greg, there's been an accident. And I said, okay, so what happened? One of the students, an NDSU student, was out running during her free time and she was hit by a car. Was she okay? I'm not sure, I'll call you back. And about an hour later, we found out Sarah died. And so my job was to fly to Florida where the students were doing the volunteer project and to meet Sarah's mom. And so I arrived and I had to make that call. Hi, Mrs. DeWitz, I'm Greg Tavine. I'm involved in Students Today, Leaders Forever. Yep. I'm just calling to say I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your daughter. She said, Greg, I want to come and meet the students. So she flew down and joined us. And in a room a lot like this, she spoke to 400 college students. And she told a story. She told her personal story. And she shared with with all of us how jealous she was that those students got to serve with Sarah the day before she died. And Sarah was alive. She was excited. And that night she spoke to us and she said, I don't fear death. I fear not living. My hope for you as graduates is that you would live a life of adventure, of curiosity, of wonder, of success, and of failure. And I just hope that you will live. My third story comes to you from a college classroom at North Dakota State University where a student learned of his professor's grandnephew. His grandnephew had a limb that wasn't fully formed, like many of ours. And he was so frustrated with the price of a replacement limb, an artificial limb. And this NDSU engineering student said, I'm going to solve that problem. And so he used advanced technology with 3D printing. And within 2 years, he produced a limb at 10% of the cost with 3D printing materials that now that young child has the ability to live a fully functional life. That college student served his professor. And I think there's some professors here that have inspired us to serve. The irony of this story is that professor died on Wednesday. But the service of that college student lives on as he builds his company and continues to serve people around the world with prosthetic limbs created by 3D printing. My hope for you as graduates is that you would do 3 things for me. One is you would show your gratitude for those that have helped you get where you are today. In the next 24 hours, please thank that professor, that teacher, that crush, whoever it might be that helped get you where you are today. Please thank them. The second is a challenge for all of us. Let's quit being devil's advocates. If we're going to change the world, we have to think about all the reasons why ideas can work. And third, take care of yourself. As a person that has struggled with mental health challenges, depression, I know I have to take care of myself, and you do too. We have such an opportunity to serve. My hope for each and every one of you is would join me as participants of the greatest state, in the greatest country, in the history of the world, to serve others. You too are ready. Go and serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They're going to remember that, and I'm glad that Sue Lippert told me to find somebody that could talk to our graduates, and you did. We have a tradition at Bismarck State in what we give our commencement speaker. It starts with just a little history as military coins, and they're also called challenge coins, and they date back to the United States Army Air Service to World War I. They're imprinted with the squadron's insignia. Pilots carry them, give them away as mementos of service to others. And throughout the years, the tradition of awarding coins to service members upon joining organizations and as an award to improve morale and selling them as commemorative special occasions as fundraisers throughout the military community. To recognize the sacrifice and honor of military service and service in general, Bismarck State College created its first presidential commemorative coin in 2009. The coins have become a tradition for BSC now. We give the coins to military service members and to veterans and to others who share our commitment to serving students, and in particular our military students, but service to everyone, just as Mr. Tavine challenged us today. So I want to give you this set. It says this coin is presented with gratitude to Greg Tavine, commencement speaker, Bismarck State College, 77th commencement, May 12, 2007.
Please welcome Mr. Kyron Miller, President of the BSC National Alumni Association. Mr. Miller is a 1998 graduate of BSC, and he is a department chair for the National Energy Center of Excellence at BSC. Please join me in welcoming Kyron.
Hello. On behalf of the Bismarck State College Alumni Association, congratulations, graduates, and welcome to the alumni family of more than 21,000 members who work together to strengthen this outstanding institution. The Alumni Association is engaged in a variety of projects designed to enhance the current campus, including the gaming center and equipment at the Student Union, art design in the Bavinck Stateroom, Mystic Athletic Support, and the BSC Legacy Scholarship. They keep the alumni connected by providing enriching experiences for present students. This year, we honored our alumni with 3 awards: the Alumnus of the Year, the highest honor bestowed on our alumni, the Rising Star to recognize our most recent graduates, achievements, and the BSC Legacy Family Award. The 2017 Alumnus of the Year Award recipient is Bob Martinson, class of 1967. Bob is the longest-serving North Dakota representative, currently in office, and a veteran of 22 legislative sessions. He is being recognized for his dedication to community service. Our Rising Star recipient this year is Justin Renicky, class of 2005. He decided to pursue his childhood dream of becoming a marine biologist and enrolling at BSC, where he graduated with 2 associate degrees and went on as a double major in biochemistry and marine biology at Hawaii Pacific University, graduating summa cum laude. Today he works as an instrumentation specialist at the University of Hawaii and is in the early phases of starting a new business. The BSC Legacy family is for the Frank and Barbara Gilchrist family. Marie, Kevin, Bridget, Chad, and Martha all graduated from BSC, then Bismarck Junior College, between 1973 and 1983, and have continued to be ambassadors for BSC in all their careers. There are many exciting, challenging, and rewarding experiences that await you when you walk through the doors today. Embrace every opportunity you have, learn everything you can, and don't be afraid to try something new and find out something you are passionate about, personally and professionally. Life is all about the journey, so take the time to enjoy each moment. Whether you plan to continue your education or start a new career, use what BSC has taught you to make the difference in your careers and in your communities. I wish you all the very best. Congratulations and welcome to the BSC National Alumni Association family.
Well, you ready, students? It's about time. So on behalf of the faculty and staff of Bismarck State College, I extend to you, graduates, the most sincere congratulations on completion of your degree program. The gold stole that many graduates are wearing this afternoon is a symbol of their membership in Phi Theta Kappa, the International Honor Society for two-year college students. Their names are also noted within the commencement program with the Greek letters Phi Theta Kappa. You may also notice that there are many names in the program that will not be read today. Those candidates will receive their degrees in absentia. Some completed their degrees at their graduation requirements in the fall semester and are not here today. And others will not complete their studies until after the summer session. BSC has a number of students who earn their degrees online. While some of our online graduates were unable to attend commencement, we are happy to announce that several students have traveled long distances to be with us here today on this special day. Students from 17 states will cross the stage today, along with a graduate from Nigeria. If you follow in the program, you'll note the specific degree, diploma, or certificate each candidate is receiving. So, at this time, we will confirm that our students can graduate. Candidates, students, please stand. President Scogan, will you please join me at the podium? President Scogan, the academic records of these candidates have been examined. The students have fulfilled the requirements for graduation for the appropriate academic degree as set forth by the North Dakota State Board of Higher Ed and Bismarck State College. I recommend the awarding of such degrees so the candidates may enjoy the rights, honors, and privileges pertaining thereto.
By the authority vested in me by the State Board of Higher Education and the State of North Dakota, I hereby confer upon you the academic degree which you have completed. Congratulations.
Graduates, please be seated. We will now present the 2017 graduating class of Bismarck State College. The graduates will approach the stage and receive their diplomas. Madeline Lund and members of the Wind Ensemble, please join your fellow students. You'll be the first to receive your diplomas. Dr. Scogan, Mr. Steeman, and Mr. Tavine, please come to the front of the stage.
Madeline Renee Lund. Ronald Stephen Goldberg. Stephen Edward Couts Jones. Colin Kittleson. Peter Maina Murethi. Douglas Bernard White. The following students are receiving their Associate in Arts degree. Amanda Catherine Bennis. Oren Jacob Birch. Tanner Kenneth Dominowski. Lindsay Dubin. Rachel Eliason. Taryn Ann Fisher. Ashley Rose Gatsky. Usman Haruna. Raymond Lawrence Hayden. Carissa Hilton. Haley Catherine Hoff. Chaseley Jade Hauser. Ross Grayson Clemens Huber. Kelsey Ray Johnson. Laura K. Labor. Peter James Rakov. Madeline K. Kopp. Austin Matthew Striley. Tinashe Langtone McCoy. Chaslyn Lane Sondral. Chantel Lynn Johnson. Carly Ray Willoughby. Melissa Larson. Kayla Seiler. Carly Julian Borchers. Scott David Mann. Danielle Renee Marks. Kaylee Q. Mossett. Sydney Peyton Munns. Valerie Dawn Needham. Shemaine Oden. Robin Caroline Patch. Nellie Nelson Oroninji. Catherine Marie Riley. Jeffrey Thomas Pitcher. Leanne Rose Rennick. Kaylee Ann Roden. Tyler David Reitz. Caitlin Nicole Reeb. Justine Ann Schaff. Adler James Shear. Shayla Elizabeth Schmaltz. Chelsea Elise Schmidt. Emily Helen Soderberg. Kristen Jean Steckler. Crystal Marie Susag. Kylie Ray Susag. Kendra Jean Swanson. Shelby Rain Tigan. Benjamin Thompson. Constance K. Thurn. Balsam Muhammad Toshi. Brianna L. Tortolita. Joshua Thomas Upgren. Jenna Jo Wangler. Mackenzie Lee Wary. Caitlin Paige Westerman. Allison Johanna Widmer. Ashton McKenna Wiederholt. Zie Jung. Kyland Timothy Ziegler. The following students are receiving their Associate in Science degree. Tia Jean Bomberger. Aaron Berg. Shaylee K. Berg. Anna Evelyn Bianco. Sadie Lee Black. Madison Tressa Brown. Megan Samantha Cox. Danielle Faye Dinga. Robin Dutton Hefner. Alex Joseph Eggers. Naima Fatimi. Jacob Patrick Gathman. Allison Guion. Lakoya Ann Hartford. Ariana May Herman. Vanessa Marie Heath. Alexis Hoffman. Trista Lee Jetty. Larissa May Kaiser. Abby Joy Caseman. Nicole Ray Keelan. Alicia Lynn Koropatnicki. Zachary Alexander Krein. April Lee Ann Kroll. Georgia Ray Coons. Mason Riley Link. Spencer Ryan Link. Travis John Lee. Yesenia Marchetti. Sean Ryan Martin. Madison L. Meyer. Janessa Nicole Muth. Brandy Michelle Myers. Shonda L. Rao. Heather Ann Roy. Heidi Teresa Sheets. Miranda Jean Schwab. Felicia Iona Schumacher. Jared Kane Seppanen. David Michael Schwartz. Kylie Ann Stark. Jody Symington. Alicia Dorothy Sherman. Casey Michaela Thomas. Benjamin Miller Thomason. Cody Lynn Trangsrud. Mariah Faith Wilson. Ariana Zook.
The following students are receiving their Associate in Applied Science degree. Joshua Joseph Aberly. Alexander Charles Allen. Hunter Lee Andes. Maggie Rose Archibald. Crystal Lynn Bridgers. Eric Lane Axtman. Austin Matt Burgad. Joseph Daniel Brown. Braden Neil Burgad. Jonas Byrie. Brooke Melissa Kane. Erin Ashley Christian. Aaron Dayman. Ethan Tate Dybert. Austin Walter Deedy. April Eileen Dexter. Jamin Douglas Dolacek. Ethan Dean Burns. James Peter Dowdry. Zachary Michael Dupont. Katie Demirsky. Brandon Lee Enders. Courtney Elizabeth Engelhardt. Levi Theodore Enns. Tanner Robert Erickson. Shelby Lee Everett. Harrison Jeffrey Farnsworth. Jessica Lynn Fall. Dylan Jeffrey Fall. Western Kelly Fikert. Destiny Hope Fitterer. Perry Freidig. Dara Friedrich. Benjamin Freed. Nathaniel Fulton. Perrin Pius Getzfrit. Adam Joseph Goroski. Brianna Carol Grothman. Madeline Ann Gunther. Christopher Allen Gross. Mindy Jo Grazinski. Sylvia Maria Gutierrez. Taylor John Hafner. Kelly Lynn Hansen. Raina May Hanley. Alexis Nicole Hauge. Donovan Hotzenbuehler. Bria Lee Helm. Travis Nicholas Helm. Jace J. Helmers. Haley Joe Hepper. Savannah Alexandria Herman. Lofton Lewis Hinckley. Bailey Craig Hogarth. Matthew Colin Hollitz. Landon K. Hullett. Leighton Everett Kleinjan. Haley Joe Koenig. Ethan Eric Krebs. Cynthia Elise Legman. Nicole Ann Larson. Gavin Dean LaPlante. Brittany A. Lasher. Dylan James Loinger. Ethan Alden Lyer. Mackenzie Christian Lewis. Grant Carl Lindemann. Alan Madavo. Matthew John Mullen. Jordan Mann. Cody Adam Martell. Joshua Lee Martina. Ashley Nicole Matheny. Melissa Renee McClintock. Trenton Gerald McLeod. Brian John McShane. Kamika Michelle Michelson. Samuel Aaron Metz. Michaela Ann Miller. Shelby Ann Moran. James Matthew Nadeau. Josh David Nading. Shelby Ray Nagel. Colin John Nell. Bailey Nelson. Quinlan Bell Nelson. Jade Marie Newman. Michael Allen Neprash. Samuel Ulufami Olambo. Jacob Reed Oberlander. Cassandra Ost. Joshua William Pape. Joshua Allen Pfeiffer. Hannah Joe Pike. Evan John Pravatsky. Seth Elvin Pravatsky. Zebulon Michael Pulkinen. Evan Paul Quam. Ryan Stephen Rahauser. Seth Edward Greener. Brian Richardson. Samuel Reagan Richter. Amanda Jo Ridley. Patricia Marie Romishan. Jason Paul Reichman. Jason Evan Shadi. Erica Lynn Schaefer. Shalimar Schaefer. Serena Elizabeth Schaff. Devin Dean Shell. Caitlin Jean Schurmeister. Jacob Paul Schmid. Liana Marie Schmidt. Summer Schmidtke. Ashley Marie Schuster. Allison Ann Smith. Richard Allen Smith. Paul T. Sorensen. Rebecca Grace Split. Jamie Ann Standiford. Brianna Dawn Stroh. Alex Sorosky. Brandon Scott Talley. Daniel Paul Telehay. William Benjamin Thelen. Alex James Thill. Mackenzie Antonia Ellen Thompson. Wyatt Thompson. Jordan May Tomlinson. Andrew Barlow Tonini. Garrett Kendler Underdahl. Mark Patrick Veverka. April Vinchatto. Frank C. Vandra. Corey Jacob Wainwright. Cody Andrew Wald. Logan Weary. Joel Myron Weber. Keenan Welder. Aaron Wetzel. Brianna Emma Wilson. The following students are receiving their certificates. Colton Gage Brown. Derek Walter Casey. Mason Wyatt Graves. Dane Thomas Hammond. Cynthia Joanne Enriquez. Brock Christopher Janikowski. Jordan Lee Johnson. Aaron Christopher Kaiser. Dallas Cody Lamping. Tyler Gage Larson. Kellen Peter Longi. Joshua Isaac Moe. Michaela Rosemary Temple. Lance Anthony Schmidt. Kyle Wanigan. Tyler Dean Westergren.
Oh, come on, congratulations. A lot of proud people up there, I know that. As we conclude the 77th Bismarck State College commencement exercise, we wish to each and every one of you the very best in your future endeavors. Now, graduates, please rise and face the audience. Okay, now we get to do what in academics, one of our traditions is that you will move your tassel from the right side to the left side. So this concludes our ceremonies, and if the Spirit moves you, graduates, you may now throw those mortar boards into the air. Congratulations to everyone.